Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our presentation about plant and animal tissues. Today we will explore the differences between them and look at the different types of plant tissues. We will explore their functions and the environment in which they thrive. It will be an interesting journey, so let's get started. Cells are essential components of both the human body and the plant kingdom. They are organized in groups known as tissues, designed to serve different purposes. Human muscular tissue enables movement of our bodies, while vascular tissue in plants is responsible for the distribution of water and nutrients. Let us now examine the different types of tissues observed in plants and animals. Animals and plants have different tissues due to their divergent requirements and functions. Plant cells and tissues are mainly organized to provide mechanical support and strength. They are usually composed of non-reproductive cells. Plant growth is restricted to particular areas, and so plants have both meristematic tissues which divide to encourage growth, along with permanent cells that do not divide. On the other hand, animals, which stay mobile and need more energy than plants, have primarily living cells and tissues. Moreover, due to their uniform growth, they do not have distinct dividing and non-dividing cells. Animals instead have distinct organs and special tissues for those organs. Plant tissues can be classified into two main types: meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Apical, intercalary and lateral meristematic tissues fall under the former category, while the latter is further divided into simple permanent tissues, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, and complex permanent tissues, xylem and phloem. Meristematic tissues are fundamental for a plant's growth. Located in regions of growth such as the tips of roots, stems and branches, they continuously divide to facilitate growth. These tissues are divided into three categories: apical, lateral and intercalary. Apical meristematic tissue is situated at the apex of stems and roots, contributing to their growth. Lateral meristematic tissue is found on the sides of stems and roots, increasing their diameter. Intercalary meristematic tissue is discovered at the base of leaves and internodes and is critical for their growth. In sum, these tissues are of utmost importance for the development and growth of plants. Permanent tissues are integral to a plant's growth. Originating from meristematic tissue, these tissues are unable to divide. Permanent tissues are divided into two types: simple and complex. Simple permanent tissue consists of cells of one type, falling into three different categories: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma cells contain chloroplasts for photosynthesis and are used as a storage unit. Collenchyma cells provide flexibility and mechanical support to the plant's structure. Lastly, sclerenchyma cells are composed of dead, thick-walled cells containing lignin to make the plant stronger and more rigid. All of these cells work together to give the plant the required support. Plant tissues can be as simple as a single layer of cells, like the epidermis of a leaf, or commonly, a bundle of cells, such as the bundle sheath cells found in a plant stem. These tissues play important roles, like transporting water and nutrients across the plant, conducting photosynthesis, and providing protection from the elements. Gaining an understanding of the intricate structures and functions of these tissues gives us an appreciation for the amazing world of plants. This slide is discussing complex permanent tissues and its two components: xylem and phloem. Xylem is composed of tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers that are responsible for the transportation of water and minerals from the roots to all parts of the plant, as well as food storage. Similarly, phloem contains sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers, allowing for the transportation of food from the leaves to all parts of the plant, while also aiding in food storage. Both these complex tissues are integral to the proper functioning of the plant. In terms of animal tissues, there are four main types: epithelial, muscular, connective and nervous. Epithelial tissue can be divided into squamous, columnar, cuboidal, and glandular. Muscular tissues, meanwhile, can be divided into striated, unstriated, and cardiac. Connective tissues are further broken down into blood, bone, ligaments, tendons, cartilage, areolar, and adipose, while nervous tissues are composed of nerve cells or neurons. Epithelial tissue is a type of tissue that provides a cover and acts as protection for the body. It forms a barrier and controls the movement of materials between the body and the environment and between the parts of the body. It is made up of closely packed cells and is divided into four main types: squamous, columnar, cuboidal and glandular. Squamous epithelial tissue consists of thin, flat cells and is found in the lining of blood vessels, lungs, mouth and esophagus. The skin consists of several layers of squamous epithelial cells, called stratified squamous. Columnar epithelial tissue consists of tall pillar-like cells that make up the walls of the intestine. The columnar epithelial tissue in the respiratory tract has cilia, or small hair-like projections. Cuboidal epithelial tissue consists of cube-shaped cells with a basement membrane, and it lines the kidney tubules and ducts of salivary glands. Glandular epithelial tissue is a combination of epithelial tissue that folds inwards and forms a multicellular gland. These cells secrete substances and play an important role in the body's metabolism. Muscular tissue is a vital component of the human body, being divided into three sections. Striated muscles are voluntary muscles and can be distinguished by light and dark striations. These long cylindrical cells have multiple nuclei and are often connected to bones to enable voluntary movement. Unstriated muscles, also known as smooth muscles, are involuntary muscles with no striations. They are long and spindle-shaped, found in places such as the alimentary canal, blood vessels, and bronchi of the lungs. Lastly, cardiac muscles are also involuntary and contain faint striations. They are long, cylindrical and branched and usually found in the heart, aiding it with contractions and relaxation. Connective tissue plays a vital role in the body, connecting and joining various structures. Its cells are dispersed and the space between them is filled with a gelatinous material. Blood is a specialized type of connective tissue that contains plasma, red and white blood cells, and platelets, all of which enable the movement of different substances throughout the body. Bone is another specialized form of connective tissue. Its cells are embedded in a hard substance composed of calcium and phosphorus compounds, providing a structural framework for the body and its organs. Ligaments are flexible tissues that join bones and facilitate movement, while tendons are strong fibrous tissues that link muscles to bones and also support movement. Areolar tissue is located between skin and muscles, surrounding blood vessels, and repairs tissues. Lastly, adipose tissue is found beneath the skin and between internal organs, providing storage for fats. Nervous tissue plays an important role in our body as it helps to transmit information from one part to the other. It can be found in the brain, spinal cord and nerves and is composed of nerve cells known as neurons. Each neuron consists of a cell body containing a nucleus and cytoplasm, as well as dendrites, which are hair-like structures, and an axon, which is a longer part with nerve endings. The axon is further protected by a layer known as the myelin sheath. When neurons are connected, they form nerve fibers. The junction between two neurons is known as synapse. Thank you for your attention.